Hey there guys, Bruce from CellPro here. Today we're doing the battery replacement on an iPhone 8. Pretty standard repair. First thing, you're going to take your pentalobe screwdriver, get that bad boy in there. Alright, usually we need to heat it up, and that's not a bad idea, but today this screen is pretty much almost falling off, so I can just get a guitar pick in here, work my way around, open her up, and as you can see, this screen is in pretty rough shape already, and the dude doesn't even want to do the screen replacement, so whatever. But in this case, make sure you're not pulling on this. You want to do this delicately. Very delicately, like so. Okay, great. All right, now we're into it. Yeah, so look at that battery. I mean, that's quite telling. It's pretty swollen and pretty beat up there. So that's not good at all. So we want to start by removing this. Okay, well, this guy. You know, the back on this thing is pretty cracked up as well. Take the spudger. Oh, man, this guy's really attached to the board. Sure enough, record a video, they said, Bruce, and then you run into these problems. I don't even know what's going on here. Looks like the thing underneath is stuck. All right, so there we go. I was able to get it off. No real trick there. I just pushed down really hard. All right, so we're gonna pop this bad boy off. If we can. Again. Okay. Everything seems to be stuck to it. This is not usually a characteristic of this repair. All right, so now we wanted, and this, so sometimes when you get into a repair, you start to see that if it's been worked over once, some person who didn't know what they were doing did the repair. Like for example here, there should not be a tri-wing screw, and here there's a tri-wing screw, there shouldn't be that there, so it's not good. So tri-wing again shouldn't be there, I believe, at least. All right, so this guy's off. All right, so now we have this here. What you want to do with this is you want to start working these guys off. Now, I don't know how these are going to come off, considering this repair has been done once already. Kind of want to work this flap up here. Be careful, you don't want to puncture a battery, or else you're going to have a fire, which is not good either. back of this is cracked, so you gotta be careful. All right, so it started to come loose a little bit. So I'm gonna try and put a little bit of that on there. See if that's gonna allow me to pull it better. All right, there we go. So now she's coming. I know that looks like it took a bit of effort and it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it, because if you don't do that, it can be a real pain in the ass, unless you want to heat the whole thing up. So now we're just tugging on it. And there we go. So that first one's off now. And it looks like the first one's off. I can just sort of really apply some pressure to it. And get her off like that. If you heat it up, you can do it, but in some cases, like this, when the phone is being repaired once already, there are some booby traps sometimes. So you gotta be careful if the phone's being repaired once. So like, for example, you pull the battery off and it yanks this off, or it yanks this off and damages it. So you gotta be worried about what I refer to as booby traps. But them's the brakes. All right, so that guy's off. So those are usually pretty good quality batteries. I don't know who we had that repaired at, but I actually used the exact same batteries. So now I'm gonna take it. I mean, look at this thing. It is just falling apart. I mean, see this here too. Jesus. Put that back on for the gentleman. For the gent. There we go. So that's back on. Now we're gonna put this battery into place. And there we have it. That's into place. All right. There we go. Push that in. Push that guy in. Now this guy is always a little bit difficult. This will take a long time your first time, like 20 minutes maybe. It's really difficult to get, but obviously I know what I'm doing. So you want to put that, I'm going to attach this to here. There we go. Anywho, that's on there. That's back in place. These are all on there. Just make sure she's turning on. Great, fantastic. All right, so we're just gonna put that guy back in like that. And actually, now that we're thinking about it, So this is the screw that was kind of screwing everything up there. So I'm going to try and screw that back into place with something that looks like this. You might not have it in your toolbox. Anyways, well, that looks like it was in there actually. So. All right, now we gotta put this guy back in here. Now you can see that the screw that the screw screws into, try saying that a couple times fast, came with it. So I'm just gonna hold that, use the tri-wing. At least I think I'm going to. Use the tri-wing and just try and, there we go, separate the two screws. I hate these phones that have been through like 10 billion repairs. Well, that's not sticking, so we gotta remagnetize this tool. To remagnetize, I just put it on the, put it on a speaker or a magnet or whatever. I don't know, this thing isn't magnetized at all, which is weird. Let's magnetize the screw. I mean, it's slightly magnetized. Anyways, it's a little bit curious. It's still not magnetized. Anyways, it might be the case that it's not magnetized because it's close to the camera. And you don't want to magnetize things too close to a camera just because of the fact that there's, believe it or not, moving parts within the camera. Not being magnetized is making this one kind of difficult. All right, now we're gonna take that. Holy moly, that was a difficult one, hey? So that's in. So, but you gotta do a quality repair, you know, you gotta help these customers out when things are going sideways for them. You gotta put the extra mile in and it pays off. The customers know it, you know. Anywho. Last screw for the interior before we close her up. There. Now let's close her up. If it's not closing, I always check these guys out and make sure they're screwed in. There we go. Now she's closed up. Let's put these pentalobe screws in. Man, I had to do this video with the most difficult iPhone 8. Just mangled. All right, and that's that. Make sure she's turning on. There we have it. All right, thanks guys. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and add a comment if you'd like, and I'll try and reply to the comments. All right, thanks.